Hello, I am Catherine. As you know from my website and videos, I speak a lot about the second coming of Jesus Christ. I try to prepare people for the second coming of Jesus Christ, like others in the whole world, because we are in the beginning of the last days. I hope you see that, especially now in the year 24, we see that something is increasing and something big is coming. We feel that, we see that, and it is, I don't know how you feel, but when I am outside, I go out, I preach, and so you see people are depressed. It's not like before. I was yesterday in a city, I was preaching the gospel before the big train station in the capital city, and a teacher, a retired teacher, came to me. She said, thank you that you do that. And she told me a story that happened 20 years ago. A colleague from her, she experienced something. Perhaps it was Christmas time, and the teacher was telling people not about Jesus Christ, but about the animals in the krippe. How do you say? I forgot now the name of krippe. How do you say that? Crib? I am not sure. You know where Jesus was, the baby, Mary, and so. And then she wanted to bring the children to the crib, to the animals. And a small 8 years child, a Muslim, he cried out, bomb, put a bomb. You must understand, it was 20 years ago, and this child was 8 years old. How came to his mind to put a bomb? Where did he have these words? Perhaps he heard from his parents or in the mosque or whatever. But this is the situation. I told in my last video that I was in Basilea, I was preaching, and how people reacted, and very anti-Semitic. When I came to the train station of Zurich, I had to change the train. Then I saw an advertisement. It was from an office against racism and anti-Semitism. And this advertisement, it was written not with us, not here, not by us. They wanted to say we don't accept anti-Semitism. But you can't fight against anti-Semitism through advertisement. Anti-Semitism is in the hearts of the people. Muslims grow up with anti-Semitism. It is given to them with the mother milk. And in the West came the anti-Semitism, especially in the time with the Catholic Church. I mean, the Caesars of Rome, they persecuted Jews and Christians for a long time, but the Catholic Church gave to the people the thinking, the believing the Jews are the murderers of Christ, so we must fight them, we must kill them, we must persecute them. And so it was a lot of persecution of Jewish people before Holocaust. In many countries they were persecuted, and until today many Catholics and Orthodox see Jewish people as murderers of Jesus. But Jesus Christ, he said, I came to die for you. And if Jesus 2000 years ago was in your country and preached, he will be killed. Because people hate God. People hate Jesus Christ. And Israel has a lot to do with God, with Yahweh, and with Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ came as a Jew, not as a Palestinian. The name was not even there in the time of Jesus. It was the name Israel. So you see, you can't fight against anti-Semitism in the way you bring advertisement. It's lost money. You must begin in the schools. You must teach the small children the truth. I read some days ago in a school in Germany from 800 children, 13 are Germans. The others, most of them, are Muslims. You must teach the truth in the schools. You must tell the children the truth. And then also in the universities. We let our universities in the hands of the communists and Islamists. It's time to take back our universities and to tell our students the truth, that the Jewish people are the Palestinians. Why? I told in many videos, if you give in the search machine the word Israel, you find some videos about Israel. Why are the Israelis the Palestinians? It's very simple. Rome occupied the Middle East, also Israel, and the Caesar of Rome, Adrian, he pushed away, he eliminated the name Israel and gave to the country the name Palestine. Palestine is the Latin name for Philistia. Philistia, the Philister, Goliath, they were not Arabic people. They came from the west and they were enemies Israel's. All these countries around Israel, they fought against Israel for 3,500 years now. It's not now. The hate of the Arabic people and other people around Israel is very, very, it exists minimum 3,000 years now. When the Israelis, with the leading of Moses, came to Canaan, the old name of Israel, in the same time God brought other people from the west to Gaza. They were the Philistines, and the Philistines were always in fight with Israel. If Israel was right before God, God helped them. They won. If Israel was not right, they lost the war. And we see now Israel won many wars since 1948 until today. This war is a little different. It will be very difficult for Israel. But also the enemies of Israel will be destroyed. But back from 135 AD to 1948, the Jewish people were and are the Palestinians. Who are the others? They are Arabs, migrants from the neighborhood, from Syria, from Jordan, from Egypt. And they are called Palestinians since 1948, before they were the Arabs in Israel. So you see the lie. You don't fight anti-Semitism with advertisement. You begin in the schools, you teach your children, and you bring in the newspapers the truth. What we see in the newspapers every day. One day they bring something for Israel, the next day they bring something against Israel. And they confuse the people. It's such a confusion. But the truth is so simple. How many times wanted the when or the American presidents, create a Palestinian country, state in Israel, so many times. Every time the Arabs said no. But now it's coming, and then the end will begin. I want to show something in the Psalm 83. This war is the beginning of the war in Psalm 83. Oh God, do not keep silence. Here we see the prayer of an Israeli 3,000 years ago or 2,500 years ago. It's the same until today. Oh God, do not keep silence. Do not hold your peace or be still, O God. For behold, your enemies make an uproar. Those who hate you have raised their heads. What are the Hamas doing? Exactly this. What are the people who are going to the streets for Hamas and for Palestinians, for the Arabs? Exactly this. They make an uproar. They cry, they are loud. They say from the river to the sea. What does it mean? From Jordan or Euphrates to the sea? It means the elimination of Israel. They don't want only a little, a part, or whatever. They want the elimination of Israel. They lay crafty plans against your people. They consult together against your treasured ones. What did they do? They make always plans. And what did Hamas? They did terrible plans and they executed these plans. And what said Hamas? It's not the last. We will do the same like the 7th of October again and again. First in Israel and then here. They say, come, let us wipe them out as a nation. This is the plan of the Muslims. This is the plan not only of Hamas. This is not only the plan of Hezbollah, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all. If there are 100 terror groups in the world, 99 are Islamic terror groups who kill every day Christians but also Muslims. Do you see somebody going out when the Muslims kill Muslims? No. But when Israel is involved, then everybody is going out. And not only the Muslims, but also the indoctrinated young people from our universities. The communists, the atheists, the Islamists, they are all going together to the streets. Why? Because they have one goal, the destruction of democracy in the West and the Caliphate of Islam. So they say, let us wipe them out as a nation. This is written 3,000 years ago. Can you imagine? Until today is the same plan. The Muslims believe it is in their belief that the end time will not come as long Jews are alive. In the Hadiths, it is written, the Muslims must fight and kill every Jew, and then they believe their Mahdi, their prophet, will come back. So you see, this is the plan. This is not something that happened, but what they say, they produced the Palestinians, and they say the Palestinians have a right to do everything, even what Hamas did, because it's their country. No, never. God created after the Tower of Babel 70 or 72 nations. And he put these nations under the control, under the rule of his highest angels. This is why they are called the princes of the country. We see that in Daniel, the princes of the country of Persia, of Greece, etc. Even they are called the sons of God, but they fell. God kept only a small country, Israel. And he said, this is mine. And through this country, through these people, I will show my glory to the world. What happened? The Israelis also, like all the others, the neighbors, had a lot of gods, the Arabic world. Muhammad took one of them and made him the main god. So the Israelis accepted the gods of their neighbors, fell away, and God distributed them and said, I will judge you, I will distribute you, but in the last day I will bring you back and restore you. But before Israel will be totally restored, it will be judged very severely. This is why this war and the next wars will be very difficult for Israel. A lot of Israelis will be killed, a lot of things will happen in Israel, but the Arabic world will be also destroyed. For they let the name of Israel be remembered no more. This is the plan. This was always the plan. For they conspire with one accord. Against you they make a covenant. What they will do in the last 7 years, before this last 7 years, we will see a covenant. The tents of Edom and the Ismailites, Moab and the Hagrids, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, Philistia with the inhabitants of Tyre, Edom, Moab, Ammon is Jordan. We see the king of Jordan is, how can I say, is careful. He is not yet going to a war. He is careful. Yet, we don't know what is tomorrow or after tomorrow, but this war we see now is the beginning of this war, 83. Gebal was a city in Lebanon. Amalek was in the south of Israel. Philistia were in Gaza. The Palestinians are not Philistines. The Palestinians are Arabic migrants from Egypt, Syria, Jordan, etc. You must understand, the Middle East had always wars. And so also Israel. They were occupied by the Babylonians, Persians, Assyrians, Egyptians, Romans, Greek. So it was a lot of movement of people. And then came also the Turks. 400 years they colonialized South Europe, East Europe, and the Middle East. In this time, farmers from Syria, Jordan, Egypt bought land in Israel. This is why some people say, but we bought land in Israel. Yes, from the Muslims who occupied the country. When the Turks were in Israel 400 years, why they didn't give their brothers Palestinians a state? Because the Palestinians were the Jewish people. When Mohammed colonialized Middle East and half Africa or whatever, he colonialized even Gaza. Why he didn't create a Palestinian state? Because the Palestinians were the Jews. And in Quran is written, God, Allah gave Israel to the Jews. When Jordan, the king of Jordan, occupied West Jordan land, West Bank, and East Jerusalem, why he didn't create a Palestinian state? He wanted to create a Hashemite state, because the Palestinians were the Jewish people. People begin to understand, to have a mind. And then he says, Philistia with the inhabitants of Tyre. Where is Tyre? It's a city, Tyrus, in Lebanon. And we know Lebanon is occupied by Hezbollah, another Islamic terror group, with a lot of weapons from Iran. It's a bigger enemy than Hamas. So all this, Ashur also has joined them. Assyrian was a big empire, especially North Iraq, but especially the main part was north of Iraq. Syria, Israel, they were occupied. Today, you see only Syria has the name. If you put away A, you have Syria. And Syria is a big enemy of Israel. I was 2 years before the war in Syria, I was in Damascus, and I told them, you will have a war and it will be worse than the war in Iraq. They didn't believe me, but it came so. So you see now how the Houthis, how many different parts of the Arabic world declares war. And you see how they speak about genocide. How is it possible to speak about genocide? 20 years ago, when Israel gave Gaza, unfortunately, to the Arabs, they were 280,000 people. Today they are 2 million. And you speak about genocide? It's not possible. They speak about, what is the other word? Apartheid. Apartheid? Hamas ruled Gaza. Gaza was not under the government of Israel. Hamas ruled Gaza. And you say, oh, there were controls and so. Of course, if you want to go from one country to another, you have controls. You must show your papers. And if you are a suspicious person, of course, they will control you more. And we see now the Israeli army finds a lot of weapons in every second house in Gaza. There are weapons. And when the Israeli army goes in the house, they go first to the children's room. Why? Because most of the weapons are hidden in the room of the children. This is Hamas. This is Islamic terrorist. And South Africa accused now, who went before the international judge against Israel for his apartheid, for genocide and apartheid. After the apartheid system of the whites in South Africa, what came? The apartheid system of the blacks. Today in South Africa, you have an apartheid system. What did the government for the black people? Nothing. They are hungry. They are poorer than before. But now we have also many, many whites who are in slums and beg for money and are poor. Now we have the other. We have apartheid of the blacks against the whites. So, and we have the leader of the party, of a party in South Africa, Malema, who every day says, kill the whites. So we should put this man before the trial. Why they don't put him before the trial? When should be before the trial? Because she criticized every day Israel, but not the Hamas, the terrorist. So you see, we are living in a world of lies. I read, do to them as you did to Midian, as to Sisera, at Jabin, at the river Kishon, who were destroyed at Endor, who became dung for the ground. Make their nobles like Oreb and Zeb, all their princes like Seba and Salmuna, who said, let us take possession for ourselves of the pastures of God. Do you see what they say, the enemies of Israel? Let us take possession for ourselves of the pastures of God. Do you see that? Do you see that? What this man says is 3,000 years old. And until today is exactly the same. They want to take the country of God. They want to take the land of God. Why? Oh my God, make them like whirling dust, like chaff before the wind, as fire consumes the forest, as the flame sets the mountains ablaze. So may you pursue them with your tempest and terrify them with your hurricane. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Lord. Let them be put to shame and dismayed forever. Let them perish in disgrace, that they may know that you alone, whose name is the Lord, Yahweh, Yeshua HaMashiach, are the Most High over all the earth. Alleluia. This is the goal of the enemies of Israel, to take the land of God. It's a war between Allah and Jesus Christ. And we know who will win, but it will cost a lot of suffering, a lot of lives. Israel will have a terrible time. It's not like the other wars. But we see now more and more people, Muslims, become Christians find Jesus as their Savior, and they stand for Israel, they love Israel, they pray for Israel. It's such a great thing. And 1 million Arabs people or more are in Israel. They have passports of Israel. They have the same rights. They can even, I heard, they can even bring a president, an Arab president in Israel. Can you show me an Islamic country where a Christian can become, or a Jew can become a president? The Islamic countries are apartheid countries, and we bring Israel before the international court. We are crazy. This is madness. And it is because we are stupid. You know, the problem of today in the West is stupidity. We are stupid because we became godless. And stupidity brings to madness. These people, our communistic people, our Islamistic people, our leftists, and whatever the name, climate radicals and so, they are so foolish. You can tell them as much you want the truth. They can't see that anymore. They are so stupid, and so it leads to madness, to the hate against God and against his people. Pray for Israel and pray for the Muslims to find the truth, to be saved. Hallelujah. Goodbye.